What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market. I'm also going to talk about some very important levels to watch for what's going on with some news that just came out. But just note that I'm not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total. And the offer ends very soon, in just a couple of weeks. Anyways, for SPY right now, we are looking quite decent right now, holding our key supports. So I want to break down some more information about this in just a minute. Just note that we just had some bill auctions come out. Everything was very close to what we saw previously, not really affecting the market way too much. So there's not really much data coming out for the rest of the day. And tomorrow we have very minor data as well, nothing too crazy. So the market has some free time to do its thing without worrying as much about major data reports. So the question is, what's happening from here? So I want to say that I mentioned to everyone there's going to be a dip and a bounce coming. We dipped to the first support. I called it at 553. I said if we lost this, we're looking for basically the 550 area and then a bounce. But if we held 553, we could have even bounced off that. So one of those two levels I was calling out to be our bounce zones, whether it's 553 or 550. We went down to 553 and we kind of rebounded off of that. So far it's holding up decently. Um, this technically did make the move I was talking about, a little dip and a bounce. But now the question is, can SPY break out even higher than this? And that depends on many different factors. So we're trying to hold above 555 right now. And then the problem is we're struggling to break past 556. So we're just range bound right now. SPY has been going back and forth between these levels. And in order for this to go higher, we need to see a clean break of 556. We haven't done that yet, so we have to give this some time. When you look at the 30 minutes time frame, we basically dipped quite a bit only to pump back up, and then we're just completely just choppy, trading sideways for the time being. There's not really much going on with SPY. We're seeing just a lot of consolidation, but there might be more volatility during the last hour of the day, so we have to just wait for that to see what this is going to do. Otherwise, we're just very, very choppy right now. If we end up breaking past 556, we could be looking for another push. The 4 hour and the daily do still look more bullish, but if we break 556, we have to watch for that for confirmation. I would be looking for 558 if that breaks, followed by this imbalance fill towards 560, a little bit above 560 if that ends up being the case. And if you're bearish, you want to see it lose 553. If that fails us, we're going to be dipping all the way down to at least this 550 area. So you want to be careful with these levels, but so far SPY is just consolidating and holding up nicely. So if we could break 556 and close above that today, we're going to have a lot more potential for upside. Otherwise, we're just shuffling for the time being. For Nvda, we have this resistance at this 120 area. I mentioned to everyone that this might dip a little bit before it tries to rebound. We dipped down to about 115 only to rebound. It didn't go quite as low as some of these targets. I was talking about 115 and 112 being our supports. We ended up bouncing off 115. And now Nvidia is just shuffling between 118 and 120. So if we end up losing the 118 area, we're going to be looking for a move back down to that 115 zone as our main support. So I'm going to be watching to see how well Nvidia could hold up around these levels. And then if we end up breaking out, you want to get back above 120. If 120 breaks, we're looking for 122.8 as the next potential target. So overall, we're just shuffling on Nvidia. We've been stuck for the past 2 hours. So give this some time. We did see a little bit of a dip only to rebound. But overall, we're just range bound. So I have to give this a little bit more time to develop. For ES, we're also range bound. We have 5580's resistance and 5552 as support, close to our 20 EMA. So we've been going back and forth and back and forth. So far, it has not done much, so I'm not really too concerned about this. And I'm just going to say that we're completely range bound for now, so give this the time it needs. There's not really much changing for now. For now, we're range bound. Unless we could break past 5580, then we will turn back to bullish. But for now, ES is just stuck within a range. Bitcoin is also range bound because when you look at the 4 hour time frame, we need to break past 58,800 to really turn bullish. We have to lose 56,800 to turn bearish. Otherwise, we're just range bound on Bitcoin. So we're just waiting to see if this could break. For Tesla, we're range bound. We're just shuffling around the 228 zone. We have 228 as resistance, followed by 230. And if we lose support, we're looking at 225, followed by 222. I mentioned to you all that this might dip towards 222, then try to rebound. We actually bounced off 224 to try to rebound. So far, Tesla held support, and we're just consolidating, so give this the time it needs. There's not really much going on with this, at least for now. For others out there, we also have NQ. NQ is also doing a good job at holding up. We're once again trying to push higher and higher. We're looking at this resistance to watch around this 19,500 area. Our support's at 19,250. If that fails, we're coming back down to 19,000. So we're just range bound for now. I do see some upside potential in NQ, but that's all I'm seeing for the time being. Some consolidation. If we lose 19,250, we could be dipping lower to lower 19,000s. 19,100 is the next target, followed by the 19,000 flat area. 19,500 is resistance, so we'll see how it ends up going. For the QQQ, we're also stuck within a range. If we break out higher, we're looking for 473 as resistance. And if we lose 466, we could be tipping back down. We're range bound for now, so we'll give this the time it needs, but there is some upside potential. For Apple, we're range bound right now. We have support at 221 and also at 220. We have resistance at 222. We're just completely stuck. Going back and forth and back and forth. There's not really much going on. The IWM, on the other hand, is very bullish looking. We're trying to push very close to 212. If we break that, we're looking for 214. And if we end up losing 211, we're looking for 210, followed by 208. But this looks more bullish, breaking out, holding up very nicely. It could push more and outperform the markets. Coinbase is doing a good job at holding up. We're going to be looking at 162 as our resistance. If that breaks, we're going to push even higher. As long as we don't lose 158, we remain more bullish. Amazon's just shuffling around 184. I was thinking it would dip down to 182, then try to bounce. We actually held 183.5 before we tried to bounce. So it held up a little bit better than expected, but still range bound. We need to break past 185 and hold above it to turn more bullish, at least close above that. For Meta, we're looking at 520 and 524 as resistance, and then 512 as our main support. This is favoring upside, looks a little bit more bullish to me. As long as we can try to break 520, we continue higher. It has potential. Microsoft is going to be testing 420. If that fails us, we're going to be looking for a dip back down to 416. If that holds, we could try to rebound. So watch to see if 420 holds. Otherwise, it's just doing a big test right now. And then Google looks more bullish. If we break past this 155 area, we're looking for basically the 157 area. If we end up losing 153, we're going to be dipping back down to 150. But this looks more bullish, so we'll see how things end up going. So give this the time it needs. With that being said, guys, I want to thank you all so much for listening. Please have a great day, remain calm, cool, and collected, and we'll see how things end up developing from this point on. Just know that SPY, in my opinion, has more bullish potential. I think it could be pumping even more if we could try to hold above not only 555, but try to break 556. Otherwise, we're just kind of shuffling for the time being, so we'll give this the time it needs. So we'll see if those levels break. I thank you all so much for your attention, and I'll be back in a couple of hours for another update for the day. One more thing, there might be more volatility towards the end of the day. That's something that's been happening for the last few days. During the final hour, that's when we see more volatility, more potential upside. So we will see if we get a big push at the end of the day or not. Look for a bigger surge in volatility then for the final hour. Until then, do what you have to do, guys. Take your time, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thanks again for listening, and peace out.